guys, how's it going? Daniel here. Today we're taking a look at the new MacBook Air and iPad Pro. All the points that apply to this iPad Pro will apply to the new iPad Pro. All right, so assuming you're not a teacher or a student, the MacBook Air is going to cost you $1,000, and the iPad Pro, this one right here, if you get it refurbished and everything, you're probably looking at about almost $1,000, maybe $900 or so, with a keyboard, Apple Pencil, the whole deal, the whole thing. If you were to get the new ones, you'd probably be looking at a little bit more, but I think you could even get this for cheaper. But let's just say and assume that you can get the iPad Pro for $900 with the keyboard and Apple Pencil, and the new MacBook Air for also $900 or $1,000 if you're a student or a teacher. So let's just assume they're evenly priced. And which one should you choose? I think it's actually a very easy question to answer to you guys. And let's first go over some of the differences. Of course, here you get this new a traditional style keyboard, which is really great. Everyone's talking about it and it feels really great. It's definitely a blast to type on. The Magic Keyboard's not out yet for the iPad Pro. That's not coming till May. But that's gonna cost $350 or $300 for the 11-inch model. So $300 for just the keyboard is going to be a lot of money. It's going to raise the price up of the iPad quite a bit if you do want that Apple style trackpad, which we do get here with the MacBook. As you can see right here, just by looking here, this is on max brightness right here. And the iPad Pro, let's see what this is at. It might be at max. Yeah, there we go. It's at max. But you can see how much brighter and cleaner that iPad screen is. And that is because it is a much better display. It looks stunning. And when you put them side by side, it definitely looks much better than the MacBook Air's display. So for any photo editing and even video editing stuff, things are gonna look better here and they're gonna be easier to see. Now I know we have an 11-inch model here, but the point still stands. It looks amazing and you're gonna be able to do a lot of things with this display. It just is very nice to look at. Now, of course, Apple Pencil support, that's a big deal because you can create a ton of things. If you're a student, you can write class notes and make really special notes that maybe will help you remember a lot more, as opposed to, you know, the traditional way of taking notes. I personally would take notes with the Apple Pencil, make cool drawings and stuff like that. But if you don't like doing that and you like typing all the time, then it makes a lot more sense to go with the traditional MacBook layout, especially because this feels so nice to type on, as opposed to, you know, this little keyboards here that we got here. And again, this is assuming you wouldn't get the Magic Keyboard because it's too expensive, and that's also assuming that it's going to be any good when it comes out. Now, one of the other interesting things is, of course, we have cameras on the iPad Pro. We have a front-facing camera that is really good and a back-facing camera that is also really good, and you can record videos and take pictures in your lecture and everything. That is something you cannot do with the MacBook. So I think if you're a student overall, I think one device that does it all would be the iPad, because you can use this, you know, in your dorm and stuff to watch movies and, you know, play games like Fortnite and everything. You can even play Fortnite at 120 frames per second. That's not something you can do on the MacBook. I mean, you can use GeForce Now, you can use Stadia and play some games and stuff. However, as far as a machine that you can download games and just play instantly and that it runs them really well, the iPad does that really well, especially with controller support with an Xbox controller, a PlayStation 4 controller, all that. It works really well. Now, one of the other things is that if you're a designer or anything like that, there's apps like Sketch that aren't available. If you're a UI designer, maybe Figma, something like that. Of course, Final Cut is not available on the iPad. We do have LumaFusion, which is similar enough to Final Cut on the iPad Pro, and it works. It's just possibly not quite as fast as Final Cut just yet. And I mean, as in terms of workflow and stuff, I just personally haven't been able to edit, but that's also because I've gotten used to Final Cut. I think if you've never used Final Cut for video editing and you want to edit videos, you will be able to do LumaFusion on the iPad, and it's probably gonna be more powerful, if not just as powerful as this MacBook Air, but I'm willing to bet it's probably more powerful on the iPad. It's just a lot better of a machine for graphics work. So that's, you know, photo editing, video editing, all that stuff. Now, I'm actually super interested to hear what you guys say, because of course this is just my opinion on both of these devices, but I just think that the iPad now is just such a great spot with mouse support and everything, as we checked out in the previous video, to be such a versatile machine where you only need one machine and it's gonna do pretty much everything you need it to do whenever you want it to do. So if you don't want to use it as a laptop today, you just want to relax and draw some stuff, just remove it from the dock and use it as a drawing tablet. That's not something you can do here. Can you get a Wacom drawing tablet for your MacBook? Yes. Does it work as good? Not even close. This is next level stuff. You also get apps like Procreate on here, which are incredible to use. And you still get really good apps like Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, and Photoshop is still updating their Photoshop app. So we are getting full-blown desktop apps on the iPad slowly. Now, an interesting point that I thought of the other day is the fact that if you're using this a lot in a situation when you have drinks around or food and stuff, then the iPad is going to be much safer of a product to get than the MacBook. The MacBook tends to get really dirty around here, and the keys over time and everything. That's what caused a lot of issues with the older Butterfly keys. I guess they were just easier to break with dust getting inside. Regardless of that though, if you spill coffee on both of these, the iPad is going to come out of this unscathed, while the MacBook Air is going to be pretty much destroyed. Like, you gotta get a new one or get it replaced or fixed somewhere. And that is a big thing, because this right here, assuming it's this keyboard here, you'll have to just replace, you know, $150 or $180, $200, which is bad, but not as bad as basically the whole laptop and however much that's gonna cost you. And also the fact that once you break it, you can't use it till you fix it. This right here, just remove the keyboard. That is definitely something to keep in mind. So I think simply the question comes down to, why should I get a MacBook? If you type a ton, get the MacBook. The lappability on the MacBook is still unbeatable. The ease of use of the MacBook, of just opening and closing it and just having a laptop that's just there and you get to it and you open it and close it super easily, is also unbeatable. Not sure how that's going to change with the Magic Keyboard, but again, assuming you're not going to get that or can't afford the Magic Keyboard. But yeah, the iPad, a little bit more flimsy, a little bit more, you know, things to do here where you got to take it, you got to close it like that, and there you go. Is it a big deal? Not really, but I mean, look at it. Does it look as, you know, pretty and as something like you want to use as a tool every day for writing or something? I don't think so. I think if you write a lot or type essays and stuff, MacBook is still the way to go. And this just really works if you want something that whenever you need that specific thing, you turn it into that and then you use it. But you can see it right there. I do love the iPad. What would I choose? I would definitely choose the iPad. I mean, just without a doubt, I love designing on it. I love doing everything, and I could definitely switch to video editing on it if I needed to. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video, guys. That is the iPad Pro versus the new MacBook Air. Let me know what you guys would get given the chance. Even if both of them were free, what would you choose, the iPad or the MacBook? Let me know in the comments down below, because I am interested, because I know for a fact that I would totally 100% choose the iPad. As much as I love the MacBook, I think the iPad is the way of the future and the way of computing for the next, decade, really. This is what's gonna be the thing, as opposed to traditional laptops, which might be fading out slowly over time, but I might be wrong on that. We'll see. But yeah, again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, my voice is kind of running out here, but I will catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.